Hello everyone, and welcome to another video in our series of finding statistical calculation using Excel 2016 Office 365. In this video, we'll find or perform z.test and a t-test in Excel. So for this video, I prepared the data set that we have over here and the example that we're doing. So it says here that in auto racing, a pit crew claims that its mean pit stop time for 4 new tires and fuel is less than 13 seconds. We took a random selection of 32 pit stop times, and the data is on the left. Assume the population standard deviation is 0.33 second. Is there enough evidence to support the claim at alpha equal 0.05? So for this problem, we see that the claim is less than 13 seconds. So the claim here is mu less than 13 seconds, which means mu is less than 13. Since it doesn't have the equality, we put it in the alternative hypothesis, which means the null will be mu greater than or equal 13. Now, Excel has a function that calculates the z-test, but in another video we will use the data analysis tool pack, which gives us more information about the test statistics. So if you look at the function and we search for it, we expect that the function is called z.test. Now we have to be careful with this function because, as it says here, it returns the one-tailed p-value of a z-test. And in fact, this function returns the right tail value, the p-value to the right of the test statistics. So let's look at what does it ask us for. It's going to ask you for the array of value, so we have to select this array of values, the data set that we have. It's going to ask us for the x value that we're testing for. And the x value is basically what we're testing for here in the claim, which is 13. And it's going to ask us for sigma, which is the population known standard deviation, as it's given to us, 0.33. Now, one of the key things here is the Excel doesn't have a function called t-test. But if you look at the description here, it says if sigma is omitted, which means you leave it empty, the sample standard deviation is used, which means it's going to perform a t-test instead of a z-test. So once we enter the data, the test value, and the standard deviation, you can see that this is the p-value, but this is the p-value to the right of the z-value we're looking for. If you look at the alternative hypothesis, it says mu less than 13, which means in this case we have a left tail test. To get the left tail test, all we have to do is take 1 minus this value over here. So the z function gives me the right p, the 1 minus is going to give me the left, which what I'm looking for. So now we can compare the p-value to alpha, and based on this comparison we can make a decision. So p-value is 0.04, alpha is 0.05. We can see that the p-value is less than alpha, and that means reject the null hypothesis and in favor of the alternative, which means in our decision at the 5% level of significance, there is enough evidence to support the claim that the mean pit stop is less than 13 seconds. Now, let's see if we are finding greater than. So we're doing a right tail. If we're doing a right tail, we don't have to do 1 minus because it's already giving me a right tail. So I'm just going to go to this formula here, and let's assume I'm looking for greater than 12.75, for example. So in this case, the value that I get over here is basically the right tail, which means I don't have to do 1 minus, and this will be the p-value for me. Same idea, if I'm looking at alpha equals 0.05, this is definitely less than 0.05, which means reject, and so on. Now, let's assume we have a two-tailed test. So let's assume I'm looking at equal 12.77, for example. Now, whenever I'm doing a z-test, I cannot take right away the right or the left because I don't know where the value that's going to be in the z-value. So what we're going to do in this case, and this is very important, I will take whatever the z-value gives me and take 1 minus that. Remember that for a two-tailed test, I need to take twice the p-value. Now I'm assuming that I don't know which p-value I'm going to take, the right or the left, because of the formula. So I'm going to take 2 times the minimum of the p-value and the 1 minus p-value. In this case, if this was the bigger value on the right, this will be the smaller value. It takes the minimum of these two, and we multiply it by 2 because I'm doing a two-tailed test, which means I need both p-values in the diagram. Now, so this is for the left tail, this is for the right tail, and this is for two-tail. Let's repeat the same thing using the t-test, and you'll see that the value will be a little bit different. So repeating the same thing using the t-test, as the function says, simply remove the standard deviation. So you see we provide the array, the x value, and leave the sigma empty. This will be a t-test, and you'll see that the value is totally different than the z-test. If we repeat this for the same thing, just for the sake of comparing them, remove this, and you will see that it's different p-value. So in general, it's the same function, z.test, which you have to use to find either the z-test or the t-test, and then use it to find the actual p-value based on the case that you have. Always remember that the z function returns the right tail. So if you want the left tail, you have to take 1 minus. If you want the right tail, you just keep it as it is. And if you want a two-tail, you have to take 2 times the minimum of z and 1 minus that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos on X.